Oh my God, these questions are too deep. What is the true meaning of life?
The true meaning of life.
I don't know the answer.
It's like they've purposely put this in to make me go off on one.
What about self-driving cars like Tesla? Is that bad?
I don't think that's good.
I've seen some people driving recently, and that's not good either, though.
Hey guys, you're listening to Just 3 Clicks, and this is episode 22. I'm sat with David. How's it going?
It's going well. I feel like we got some feedback recently on the podcast, and apparently we start quite gradually. We grow into these podcasts.
Oh yeah, we don't jump into it.
Yeah. So I feel like I should be really upbeat, or I don't know what the word is, but I can't. It's just not me.
No. This is us. So we've got Dan outside here. I think he's trying to come in to give us something. So today's episode's a little bit different. I'm going to find out why in a moment. So we've got Dan here with a mug. What's in the mug?
Some paper.
Some questions.
Questions. Right, okay. Oh, so this is from the Q&A thing. I think we spoke about this in a previous episode. All right, cool. So I guess that's today's episode. We're going to be diving into this mug full of Viddyoze questions. How shit is this mug, by the way?
Yeah, it's not.
The logo goes from one, if you can see there, it starts there. It goes all the way around to the other side. So I couldn't even, that's our company there. Look, O's.
Need to make sure you're not sticking your hand in.
Yeah. See, that's better. Kind of. Clippier.
What's that?
Let's not talk about that. No, it's cool. Clippier is our other product. It's a cool product. Let's not make that about this though. This about that. All right. So, thanks, Dan. So, episode today, we're going to be going into some questions that you guys have sent in. I think, actually, from what I read on the brief, I think we might have questions from staff as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'll just mix it like that.
I made a joke about it being, can I have a pay rise?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think quite a few people may have said that.
Right.
The answer is no.
No. You pick the first one. Question 1.
Manchester is blue. True or false?
I don't understand the question.
It's a football question.
All right.
Technically, Manchester is blue right now because Manchester City are winning.
Oh, because United's red and... Yeah, okay, right, I got it.
Yeah, but...
Maybe explain that for the American listeners. They might not know what that means.
So, Man City... It's soccer teams, football teams... Manchester United are red, City are blue. So the saying is Manchester is blue, maybe City have won. The same if United have won, it's red. I'm probably more of a United fan if I have to be. So technically, I think it's red, but City are doing better right now. So yeah, it's blue. There we go. First question. That was easy.
Okay. I'll take the next one. I don't know how many there are in it. We'll get through all of them, though. Okay. Is that one? Oh, this is really well prepared. What's outside of space? What is it expanding into? And what's outside of the outside of space? This is like my kind of question. I fucking love that question. What's outside of space? What's expanding into it? And what's outside of the outside of space? Well, what do you think?
I think that I don't know the answer to the question. And if I think about it, it's too much to think about, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's too big of a question to answer.
The reality is that we don't know what's outside of space. But then I also think it depends on what you think space actually is. Because what is space even?
Well,
It's nothing, isn't it?
what is this right now? Like, it's
I'm a big believer of like consciousness. So I always think that. Have you seen the TED talk on hallucinated reality?
no.
It's fucking great. It's so good, honestly. I'll send you it later. But basically, right, there's a theory, and Elon Musk says it. He says we're living in a simulation because he doesn't believe that we're actually here. Yeah, so he thinks like we're in some kind of like computer generated existence. But what there's a couple of different philosophers, including some controversial ones, I won't say their names, but who say that we live in like a bit of a virtual reality esque thing where everything we see is basically a hallucination that we've created, and then we validate each other, and that's how we make it real. So it's like if you think about hypnosis, right? Like when you're hypnotized, and me and David have both been hypnotized, by the way. It's great. So when you're hypnotized, your reality changes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like you could literally see something that's not even there because you've convinced yourself that it's there. For instance, it's like that girl in I can't remember where we were. We sat around that dinner table, and when Jay was there, like one of it was like it was like
Yeah.
an event, and then she had like a steak, but she thought, well, because like it had been suggested, she thought it was a dessert, so she could smell the dessert and that kind of thing. But that wasn't real, was it?
No,
She
no.
was validating it. So what this TED talk talks about is how all of us are basically creating the existence because we're actually just telling each other that what we see. So because we're all suggesting to each other all the time, we've created like this world that we live in. It's a very deep fucking topic. I'm probably not really explaining it very well, but I think to the question, what's outside of space? I don't think there actually is anything. I think it is just, they call it void, don't they? It's the void. And void means not. So it's not actually anything. It's just there. Like we have all our, it's weird. Like it's too deep of a question. You could do a podcast on this one question. I'm gonna have to put that one on the side. But my answer to that is, I think what we think is there is there. That's my answer. Like if I think there's loads of planets and there's things there, then that's probably what's there. And if you think there's nothing, then there's probably nothing. I think that's my answer. God, that was too deep. That's my tea.
Is that the end?
Yeah.
The end of the podcast.
Oh no, that's just the question. That's a deep question. Whoever sent that one in, that was a good one. Good question.
What's your favourite cheat meal and why? Favourite cheat meal?
What would it be?
Thai green curry from the Spencer Hotel in Dublin.
That's a very good curry. If you live in Ireland, you'll probably know it already. Spencer Hotel in Ireland. It's just down by the bridge, on the docks. The Thai in there has been
Or fried chicken and waffles with
in
watermelon
Vegas.
from Yardbird, Miami and Vegas.
Miami, yeah. Oh, it's in Vegas as well. Did we go to, which one did we go to?
Vegas.
We went there the first day we got there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Literally the first day. I remember that because I was on my food thing, and I remember that day was just like, yeah, having Yardbird.
Mm.
Get watermelon with it as well, don't you?
Yeah.
I like I'm all right with just pizza. Like my birthday's on the 29th of April, and I've already worked out. Like I just want to have a good restaurant pizza. I've not had pizza in a while. I had some of Ethan's pizza the other day actually, but it's shit because he doesn't eat cheese. So it was like
a tomato pizza.
It's just like a fake cheese pizza. No offense to all the vegans out there, but it's just not for me. It didn't taste that great.
So yeah, I think for me, it's hard because there's so many
Indian
food.
Like a lamb sag.
Let's not talk about this.
These are good questions. Right. How have you managed home life and work life balance over the course of building videos with young kids, etc.?
Well, my son is 2, in about a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Couple of
Yeah,
weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, yeah. And so I had the benefit of growing the company without kids for a few years, and then the last two has been with my son. Now, I've basically said that like I don't come into the office at like 8 a.m. I'm not a big believer in like first in, last out. Like I don't want to be the first into the building and the last to leave. I don't think that's, how you should. I've spoken to quite a few people, and they think if you run a company, you got to put the hours in, and I agree, you got to put the hours in. But what those hours are for me is like that's what's important. So if I need to do the work, if I've got to work more hours, I'd rather do that when he's gone to bed, maybe 8 till 9, 8 till 10. So the way I try and manage it is we wake up at like 6:30, 6 a.m. maybe some days, or 7 if he sleeps. And then I don't tend to leave to come to the office till 9. So I get 2 hours in the morning with him. So I try and spend my time with him, and, we just cook some breakfast or watch some TV, spend time with him then. And then I aim to get home at 5 p.m. Because he eats his dinner at 5 and spend time there. So for me, I like try and carve out part of my day to spend with him. And then I operate around that. And I think that's what I try and do. And that's how I tend to manage it. With my wife, it's a bit easier. Like I just say, I'm busy and she gets it. I think that's been helpful over the years. But it's probably only because the company's been successful that she now kind of accepts the answer. Because back in the day, when I was 22, 23, starting a business, I wasn't making money. It was much more difficult then. Well, you're not making money, so why don't you go and get a real job? But once you see some success, it's easier to manage, really.
Yeah.
That's probably my take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I had my son's a year older than David's. Literally, birthday's a couple of days apart, isn't it? When's Ezra's?
9th.
9th, yeah. Ethan's on the 11th. I worked like, I don't know, like I just worked a lot. And I think reflecting on it, I think you just got to be smart with your time. You just got to work out what the right thing is to do with your time. I call it busy work. It's like, if you're just doing busy work, which is like, you just sat there like browsing and you're not really doing anything productive. You just got to figure out when you're doing that. Because I think when you start a business, you can spend so much time just trying to like learn new things, research new things, and you just waste shitloads of time. I think if you just do the stuff that's productive and effective, you'll probably save loads of time.
Yeah. Like how many people spend 2 weeks designing a business card?
Yeah.
Things like that. It's you've got to be very kind of you've just got to be efficient with your time. And like for me, like I always prioritize I try and prioritize my own kind of life and my own family above doing that busy work. And sometimes like above work, you've got to make that time to spend with the people with your family. I mean, for me, like you kind of judge your life on like health, wealth, and relationships, that kind of thing. And I always say you can only focus really on two at once. If you're trying to optimize and be for it to be as good as it can be. So for me, prior to my son being born, it was much easier to focus on health and wealth, and my relationships were kind of there, and they were working, and they did what they needed to do. But I had less time for the people. Whereas now, because my son's here, I have to spend time with him. I want to, if that makes sense. So, but I kind of I kind of prioritize him over, health and wealth in some respects. So you've got to really balance that time between the other two.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I view it. Is you've got to try and find a balance between those three things. But when you inject a child into that equation, it's very, very difficult to find balance again.
Yeah. I'm one of those people that like I tend to dive into things really hard. So like I'll spend a lot of time on something. Like if I get into my music, for instance, I'll spend hours and hours on music, but then I won't be able to do something else as effectively. So for me, it's like important to just be selective about what I'm doing. Um, yeah, time management's always a big thing. You just got to manage your time. So that's that probably, I think.
Mm-hmm. Is it my turn?
Yeah. Good preparation, this.
Oh my God, these questions are too deep.
Go on.
What is the true meaning of life?
The true meaning of life. You go first.
I don't know the answer. Like, I think about it quite often. Like when I'm driving home, like what is this? Why are we here? What's the reason? I think for me, just to be happy. So you try your best to be happy, and then I think make other people happy as well, or impact other people positively. So for me, that's kind of how I try and live my life. Is I try and make a positive impact for myself and the people around me.
Yeah.
And that's the meaning of my life, really. That's like it's too deep a question.
It's
Like,
a very deep question.
because it means so many different things to different
To
people.
different people, yeah. You're all different, aren't you? So
Yeah,
for me, it's just like, I don't know. Are you finished with your answer?
yeah, because it's we could talk for days on it.
I think like I'm quite like I spend a lot of time reflecting on that question all the time, like probably too much. And the way that I always look at it is like I don't ask what's the meaning of life. I would rather ask what isn't the meaning of life. So what isn't really the reason we're here? And that's the way that I look at it. So money isn't really the reason that we're here. It can't be, because it's not always been here. So it's something that we made ourselves. Like humans made the foundation of trade and that kind of thing. So that can't be really why we're here. It can't be your material gains. It can't be your work either, because even work is a construct of civilization. We created it as a way to earn money to trade. Like that's the reason that we have work, basically, to survive where we are. You know, it could be possible for us to live in a world where there was no money, that you could do that. But you know, that's complicated. So for me, it's like, what else is there around that topic? What else is there around all the things that we see every day on social media, on TV, in our books, in our games, video games, and television, and you know, like movies and stuff? Like all of that stuff is what we see every day, all day, and that's basically what our existence is. We're pervaded by, I don't want to say pervaded because it's not all bad, but that's what our life really is, isn't it? It's just media, work, sex, and food. You know, that's basically what we're here for.
Survival, really.
Yeah,
I think surviving in, you know, the construct that's been created within our lifetime. So kind of the world nowadays is constructed differently than it was 100 years ago. So the meaning of life is getting through it, pretty much.
Yeah, like if you go back like 3,000 years, like to some of the older civilizations, their meaning was, well, how do we fulfill our spirit? How do we nourish our soul so that we don't die and come back here? That's what their meaning was. Now, is that still relevant today? In our culture, I don't think so. Does it mean that it's not correct? That it doesn't mean that it's not correct. It just means that we're not there anymore. We're in a different.
If you look at Instagram, the meaning of life is how to pose properly so your ass looks bigger.
It's mental, isn't it?
Like, or how to spend half my paycheck on a designer brand tracksuit.
Yeah.
So that I look successful.
That's what I would say. That's not what life.
No. This is. But if you look at social, that's what people are aspiring to do. Like how to do two-step on TikTok.
I think all of us deeply have this ingrained thing in us that we do actually feel somewhere that there is more to what we're about. but I just think we don't have the information to really know that.
I think that the more information that has been made available to us, the less we are able to deal with it because there's too much information, too many opinions. I think it causes a lot of anxiety. I think people retreat from that fact. People don't want to go and open that door because there is too much information. There's too many scenarios. And I think, the rise of the internet, like I remember being, I think we've spoken about this on a podcast before, being, 10 years old, going on like a Microsoft encyclopedia. You could, you could look at, I don't know, like a didgeridoo or
volcano.
There was like the instruments of the world, and you could go to like India and I think it's like a sitar.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
That's pretty much it.
Yes.
Sitar.
I can't do that. And I remember like going and learning about instruments and things, but now it's like you can learn so much on the internet. I mean, it's not just it's not all fact either. There's a lot of, that was an encyclopedia, whereas now it is blogs, it's social media.
Well,
that's
like,
where
do you look? Where's the right source? And that's why I buy books, honestly. That's why I buy very old books, because I trust that over what I'd read on an article or on a blog. I like to go old. I like to go back in time to get books from back in the day and see what they said then. From medicinal books to spirituality to our history. It's all different if you go back and you read some of the older stuff. It's interesting. My answer is that the meaning of life is just basically to live the existence. I think that's it. You just experience it, and then you just learn from it and see what happens later. We might be doing this again and again. We don't know. Might die and do it all over again. So you may as well just experience it, no matter what that is. I think that's how I can justify it, because sometimes people have really shit lives. Like, you might be broke, you might be.
I once read that if you have a hard life, it means that your soul can take it. Like you've been there before, and you can take it. If someone's got an easy life, they can't, and that's kind of like you've been here before. If you've got life doesn't get easier, it gets harder. The more you do it. There's a lot of interesting topics around it.
Yeah, if you go back to really old kind of scriptures and stuff, if you go into like more Eastern religion, they all talk about how we have to live multiple times to nourish our souls, basically. I mean, you might call it that in olden times, but nowadays Elon Musk calls it, we live in simulations. Basically, we just keep living again and again. Who's right? I don't know. Could be both.
Okay, should we do next one?
Yeah. Is it me now? I think it's you now.
Is it?
Yeah, that was me. Oh, was it? No, I think that was you. You could do another one. Doesn't matter. Let's hope it's not too deep, like the ocean.
Who's your favourite employee, non-founder? You have to answer. No.
We can't answer that question.
We can't.
We can't answer that. Everyone's good. Everyone does a good job. If you weren't doing a good job, you wouldn't be here, would you? So.
No.
I think everyone's good at
I'm trying to think if there's like a diplomatic answer that I can.
I think the way to say it is everyone's roles are different. Like, everyone's level in the company is different as well. Like, we all do different things. Yeah. And if you're in the role that you're in, then you're doing a good job because you're here. So whatever role you're in, you're doing well in it.
That was a very, very
it's very vague.
Right, your turn.
We'll just leave that one. Jamie does a good job. Oh shit! Dropped my phone. Sorry. Right. Oh, this is weird. Hold on. The title of these episodes is inspired by Friends. Which Friends character are you and why? I don't get it. The title of these episodes is inspired by Friends.
Do we do, or are the episodes called like the one where?
The one where, yeah.
Yeah.
The one where Chandler this, or
yeah.
The one with the sofa. That's a funny episode.
I'm probably Chandler because none of my friends or family know what I do.
All right, okay. I guess. I mean, my name's Joey, so like,
And you like pizza.
I like pizza. I like eating a lot. I'm probably a cross between Joey and Ross, I suppose. Like, I'm quite geeked out in a lot of ways. I like dinosaurs and history. I like astrology. I like a lot of things to do with science. I'm probably more relatable with Ross, I'd say. Um, yeah, I'm like Ross probably. I'd say so.
Okay.
Your turn.
That was fast.
Yeah, it's good to have some quick ones.
Oh.
Oh, that's long.
Since we're adding automation to work previously reserved for artists, how do you feel about the future in which a lot of jobs are replaced by robots or algorithms, good or bad for us? Us as like a company, us as
People.
I think it's good in some respects, but I also think it could be bad because I think in life you have to have a purpose, and unfortunately a lot of our purpose comes from what we do, because that's the way we've been brought up. Like if you had no job right now, like if you had no company and you had to just literally exist in a world where you didn't have to do anything,
Yeah.
how would you cope?
It's hard, isn't it? You need to do something.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, a robot might. The argument's going to be that robots will replace monotonous tasks. Yeah, that's great if you live in the UK or if you live in America or you live in a in a well-established nation. If you live in India, it's not good.
Yeah, but even in the UK, I watched something yesterday, and it was about a guy who has got like a tulip farm. So
Okay.
he like picks 300,000 tulips a day. Him and his team, like 8,000 an hour. That's a manual job. Like it doesn't still employs people. It's just that it'll be much bigger in say India or a more kind of a country where there's more like farming and manufacturing.
It's things like potential for growth as well. Like, look, some jobs are really monotonous. Like, if your job is to basically, I don't know, like let's say it's tins and you got to put a label on it. Like, a lot of that stuff is already automated. Like in a lot of places, but in some places it might not be. I think I don't think it's a great thing. To be honest, I don't think it's a great thing. I would rather people had a place and a job and were just doing something. You need every kind of person, don't you? You need your entrepreneurs, but you also need people that can do those kinds of jobs. Otherwise, there wouldn't be companies, basically. So you've got to have a bit of everything. I don't really know how it would evolve from that.
I think there's good things and bad. I think things that could be dangerous or things that, it doesn't make financial sense for somebody to do it if you can automate it. Like, we're using automation at the minute for, like, some things. And a human couldn't do that task efficiently, could it?
No. Our whole app is an automation. Like, we make automatic animations. But
so we open up animation to people who couldn't afford it.
Yeah,
Is that positive or negative?
I think the way we do it is a positive thing, though, because we don't take away from the animator who's creating stuff for fucking Ubisoft or for bespoke animations for a bigger company or whatever. Like, we our tools designed for people who don't have the cash to pay an animator. Like, so I don't think we step on the toe of animators, really. I think we help introduce it to people that can't necessarily access it in a really affordable way. $67. Like, I remember when we got our animation made for Viddyoze, the one that Jamie hates. $2,500 that costs. Jamie hates it. It's good animation.
Automation, good or bad?
I think it's mostly, if we're talking like automation, like the way that I think the question's asking it, I think it's bad.
What about self-driving cars like Tesla? Is that bad?
I don't think that's good. Honestly, I don't think that's good.
I've seen some people driving recently, and that's not good either, though.
Have you ever watched Humans?
No,
You've not seen Humans?
I don't think so.
Oh, you've got to watch that. It's class. Great show, BBC. It's on Prime. If anybody's watching, watch Humans. That's what this is about. Or watch
Other
Wall-E.
streaming services are available. Do we have to do disclaimers like the BBC, or can we?
Is there? I don't know. No idea. Or you can watch Wall-E, which is a cartoon, but it's a lot deeper than it just being a cartoon. It's about that. It's good.
Okay. Well, answer is potentially good, mostly bad.
Could be controversial because we are an automation company, right? If you could visit any fictional world, where would it be and why? Shit, that's a good question. There's a few that I'd go to.
You can only choose one.
Like Avatar, that looks pretty cool. I'd go there. Only if I could be one of them, though.
Yeah. The only like I want to go and maybe do like Lord of the Rings, but I'd need to be invincible because that would be scary as shit.
Or like
I wouldn't want to be a hobbit either because I'm already like only 5'8", so I need to be a bit taller.
Yeah. Have you ever played Horizon on PlayStation?
Yeah.
I'd go there. That's fucking well cool. It's basically like a medieval.
Yeah, do you know it'd be good? I always think it'd be amazing, right, to wear like a VR headset and be able to walk around like your town, but view it as it was like hundreds of years ago. What
Yeah.
about Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, that'd be cool. That is basically a VR experience in
Yep.
the game because they go in the little thing, don't they? Animus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say either Horizon.
But what about like Narnia? Like, that could be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Too many places.
quite a few. Most of the ones I would go to are in games.
Yeah.
There's some cool game locations. Resident Evil, the first game, the mansion. I'd go in there.
That'd be scary.
It'd be cool though, because it's it'd be
There's
cool.
still quite a few in there.
That's cool. We're only 30 minutes in, so
Is it you or me?
it's you now.
What's next for Viddyoze beyond Blox? What's the next big project
So
beyond Blox?
we've got White Label coming up. We've got
Blox.
Blox.
So what's beyond that?
We've got the book coming out, Real Gold. So that's going to be either the same time as Blox or maybe a little bit later. It'll be a low-cost book.
I think after that we'll probably do maybe a white label / agency offering of Blox.
Yeah.
And then I think we're still quite open-minded about where we go next after that. I think we've all got a few ideas about another product we could make. I think the problems we're trying to solve with the business are how do we bring kind of creative tools to small, medium businesses that wouldn't normally be able to afford to do this in-house. And I think there's quite a few different avenues we could kind of go down with that. Maybe like an image.
Yeah, so we're creating like the image kind of manipulation tool because we're trying to create like a creative cloud for the non-technical. I'm just repeating myself. It's because we just had a blip in the recording. I don't know what's happening.
Democratize the creative cloud. Democratize.
Yeah, something like that.
That's the kind of thing I would say to an investor because nobody knows what it means.
So yeah, that's probably it. Innit? Book,
Yeah.
new tools, stuff like that. Enterprise product as well.
Yeah. So there's too many projects.
A lot.
Um,
What we might do is look at creating NFTs in videos. That might be cool to get some feedback on, actually, if anyone is listening or whoever watches this. Like, we're looking at maybe potentially creating an NFT type thing to do with videos. So maybe you could, like, own a certain part of a template, or maybe you could be an owner of a template, for instance. That might be quite interesting. It's because the NFT market's taken off over the last couple of months. So
Yeah.
we're just trying to future-proof and see how we can get involved. Might be cool. Oh, okay. This is a small one. If you could go back to day one of Viddyoze, what would you tell yourself? Strap yourself in.
It's difficult because I can't. It's hard to go back into the person that I was when we started and kind of understand what that person needs, if that makes sense.
Maybe not to worry so much.
Yeah, but if we didn't worry so much,
Yeah,
then we wouldn't have made the company.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think I need to tell myself anything. Like, I think like I sit here today, I'll tell you what, I would say, use one payment solution and automate your finances.
Yeah, 100%. Build a dashboard. Build a dashboard from day one.
That's probably the one thing I would do, because we used a lot of payment systems and we never had like solid data. We're having to build it now. It's costing us a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably look after your finances, financial data, and have some dashboards for the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with that too.
Quite a functional thing. Nothing too deep there.
Ethereal.
Yeah.
You go. This is funny.
I pulled 2 then.
This is an easy podcast.
How important are Shiba Inu dogs in building a $1 million company?
Vital. The thing is, right, I can't leave my dogs at home because they'll go mental. I don't have a dog sitter or a walker. I suppose I could. That's the answer.
Vital to a company. If you look at one of the most successful cryptocurrencies as well, Doge.
It is a Shiba.
It's a Shiba. So
I've got that. I've got pictures of that with my own dogs.
Yeah.
I took one the other day. It's hilarious. Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to build $1 million company, buy a Shiba.
Or 2.
Yeah, that's for a $2 million company.
You have the chance to go back in time just once and change any moment in your life. What would it be and why?
I wouldn't change anything, because I believe in like the butterfly effect, and you know, like I look at my life as it is right now, and I'm quite content with it. I'm quite happy. Like I wouldn't want to change anything really.
I'm Googling something. It's the...
Maybe like going to Wuhan and telling people to, you know, not spread coronavirus. Maybe that's the one thing I would change.
Don't eat that bat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't want to misquote this, but I believe what we're talking about is the theory of relativity. I think I could be really wrong.
Albert Einstein.
Yeah. Somebody can tell me if I'm wrong and just email us and tell us. But essentially, the answer is I wouldn't change anything, because you could literally just... based on the theory is that if you go back in time, and even if you just if you stomped on a mosquito, that could create enough impact to pretty much implode the entire planet. And the theory is that just one slight different movement of your body, or just one directional change or anything, can just change everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it probably can. I don't know. That's the science behind it. Anyway,
of course it can. Like I look at, say, my life as it is right now, and you can go back to so many different things that put you on the path to where you are now. So, you know, I got a job that wasn't that well paid. Like, when I say not well paid, it wasn't even like, it's like £100 a week, 40 hours at £2.50. Is that £2.50 an hour?
Yeah.
As an apprentice. Now, that, if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't have then gone and found another job which paid more. And and then I wouldn't have done that job. And then within that job, I met, like I had a manager who, kind of, I looked at their path in life and I was like, I don't think I want to go down this path. I want to do something different. So I started a business, and then, that put me on that journey at the age of 20, 21. So even though I didn't enjoy that aspect of my life, if I hadn't have done it, I wouldn't be doing this now. Potential, or I could be, but maybe it would be different. Like the timing could have been different, and then I wouldn't have met you, wouldn't have met Jamie.
Yeah.
This company may exist, but it may have failed, So
It can be really granular as well. Like if I didn't have that cup of chamomile tea, right, that would now change the timing in which I'm going to have to go to the toilet to urinate, which then changes the timing of absolutely everything else I'm doing. So before I leave work today, I'll probably have to go for a pee.
yeah,
Because I just generally pee a lot, and after I drink tea, it's just like straight. But then if I didn't, maybe I'd drive my car sooner and I'd crash it. Who knows?
yep.
Just weird shit like that. It's too delicate. Don't change the past. Change the future. In Back to the Future, they go to the future, don't they? Do they travel forwards in time? I can't remember. I think they do.
Well, they have to, because they go back.
To the future. Right. Once lockdown is over, what's the first thing you want to do with your family, with your friends, and with your colleagues?
You go.
I just want to travel, provided
Yeah.
I can. Vaccine dependent, but I would travel.
I think family, travel, friends, travel, employees. There's too many of you to travel, so you'll have to come to the office maybe.
Yeah.
You can travel to us, but I think, yeah, just a lot of traveling, a lot of not being in the same place.
Like we used to go everywhere and work. Like we'd go to London, we're going to Manchester, Cannes. Fuck, when did we go to Cannes last?
2019?
We used to try and make an effort to go every year.
Once a year.
We didn't really though. We only went twice. I think so, twice.
Yeah, maybe 3.
Maybe 3, yeah. I think it was 3 actually. Maybe. So, yeah, I'd like to go to Cannes and sit in that villa apartment again. That's good. Just chill. That's it.
Yep. So probably just not be in the same place we are now. Travel, see different places.
Jiu-jitsu. I want to go back to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I want to do that again as well. Vigorous.
What's this one now? I want to set up my own business in 2021. What advice do you have for me? Well, the first one will be start right now, because we're nearly in April, so you'll run out of time if you don't. So if you want to set up a business, do it today.
Yeah. And make sure it's all online. Don't try to set up anything offline right now. It's just too risky. Do an online business. It's low cost, low maintenance for you if you're starting out literally on your own. To be fair, we're looking at stuff right now that's physical, but I think it's different because we're in a position where we can probably spend quite a bit of cash to do that. And I wouldn't do it on my own, even now, to be honest. I'm only doing it because I've got these guys that I can rely on as well. So if you're on your own, set something up online, buy some crypto.
Ideally, use your knowledge and sell your experience and knowledge.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like, that's what I would do if I needed to do something quickly.
High ticket coaching.
Not that.
Facebook post. And just unless you're actually a coach in something, like if you legitimately have a skill where you're teaching something, just translate that to the internet.
Yeah, that's probably the quick and dirty thing to do.
Yeah. You can buy the expert course. We talk about how to do it in that. Expert.
God, Joey's on fire with the sales messages today.
Expert.viddyoze.com if you want to check it out. That's that.
Things that have done well during kind of the lockdown in the UK, food businesses. A lot of people have set up like a, food business, and they sell, I don't know, cookies, sell any kind of food. They've done pretty well. Yeah, but I think the main thing is just start now. Don't wait. If you want to start a business in 2021, you're nearly a third of the way through. By the time you listen to this, so if you've not started already, then you've got a few months really. So yeah, start now.
Yeah.
There you go. I've picked for you. Start.
Have you already seen what it is?
Nope.
What have you missed most during the pandemic? I mean, we kind of answered that, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think, like in early 2020, was it 2020? Yeah, I was doing jiu-jitsu. You can watch episode 1 of Just 3 Clicks and you'll see what we were doing then. Like, I'm wearing the bobble hat, I can remember it. And I was doing jiu-jitsu, I was doing Toastmasters, so I was trying to improve my public speaking skills, so I was doing this Toastmasters thing, which is great. You basically go to like this meetup, and the goal is to improve your speaking skills. So what they do is they give you a word. So the word could be like elephant, and then you've got to go up and speak about the word for 3 minutes and just talk whatever you can about that word. It's very uncomfortable because you don't know what to say. So I remember I had elephant. That's why I always use that example. And I just talked about Dumbo for 3 minutes, the cartoon. It was great. Like, I miss doing stuff like that.
I miss new experiences. So kind of the first lockdown for me was actually, parts of it were quite enjoyable. Like I enjoyed the novelty of, the roads being empty. I enjoyed, the weather was good, so I was at home quite a bit. But then as that became normal, I missed new things happening. So I think for me, new experiences is what I've missed the most.
We used to go to meetups, remember?
Yep.
We went to one meetup just before the lockdown, and we met that guy there who was just like this skydiver guy, and he would just do it every month. Just jump out of a plane every month. I wouldn't do that.
Not me neither.
Just about go over flying.
I'm going to be scared of when we go back on a plane. I'm going to be scared. 100%.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah. Next one. If you could step back now with all the money in the world and we're not allowed to have any involvement with videos again, what would you do and why? Well, if we're going to take this kind of literally, then I don't want to have all the money in the world because then everyone else is screwed. It wouldn't be very enjoyable, would it?
No.
So the literal answer is I'd probably build a very, very big castle with big walls so no one could come and take my money because I'd fear for my safety.
Yeah.
Or, I would give it to everybody. But
what if it was figurative?
Say
Not
that.
literal.
I would start a new business.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would be very good at, I think for me, money isn't what fulfills me. I'm fulfilled by freedom of choice. And it just so happens that the world we live in, you kind of need money to do that in some respects. I need shelter for me and my family. I need food. I need water, clean water, to survive. So if I didn't have money for shelter, I would need to go and get that money somehow. So I think with anything, like, you need money to have that freedom to make a decision on what you want to do next, or what makes you happy, really. So I think for me, free kind of the business allows us to do that and be free. But if I had all the money in the world and I didn't need any more money, money's not what's driving me to go and do something. It's being creative. It's overcoming obstacles and challenges. And it just so happens that I think I gravitate towards things that generate money. Or my brain kind of works that way. But I think starting a charity and giving back, that's something that I would want to do.
Yeah.
I don't know who to at the minute. Could be various different charities, but using my skills and my kind of entrepreneurial ability to impact other people, I think that's something I would like to do. But I just enjoy kind of taking an idea and bringing it to fruition, really.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I would do, but I know it would be another business or a non-profit.
Got to be invigorated by something.
Yeah.
You got to be excited about something, I think.
So I think, if you've got to, in life, you have to be kind of, if that freedom of choice is important to me. So enough money that I don't have to wake up and go and do a job I don't enjoy. Because if I don't do it, someone takes my paycheck. I can't afford shelter. I can't afford food. So I kind of got to be in a position where I'm free to make that choice myself. A lot of people may feel the same, but you've got to work very hard to go and get that freedom. It's not easy to get. But I would just do the same as we're doing now. I choose to come to work. I choose to, to run this business. We could have sold it 2-3 years ago and probably, not had to work for a good few years, but we still choose to be here because, we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So yeah, I would carry on doing the same thing.
Cool. How many are left in there?
Quite a few.
Let's keep going. What's your favorite Viddyoze template and why? I know this one.
For me, it's assembly.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's a historic moment in the app.
It is.
We didn't realize. Well, we when we put the video out, the marketing video, the template didn't actually work. We didn't even know if we could put it on the platform, but we sold it anyway. And I think they call it kind of jumping off a cliff and building the parachute on the way down. That's kind of what we did with that template. So it's a big significant moment in the app's kind of history and our journey. So yeah, for me, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing template out there. It could be, could be better, but for me,
it was the first one that if you look at the templates, you might not be able to see some of the original ones, but basically back in the first days, like the templates wouldn't be 3D, so they wouldn't move in 3D space. Like it would have to be a flat pane, and the animation would just come together like that, just flat. What was good about assembly was you could actually see the logo moving in 3D, and it was split apart. So the other templates, like what would happen is you'd have smoke coming into the middle of the screen, and then the logo just kind of fades in, which is like, it's all right, but it's kind of boring. But this one, the logo was split apart, and it actually moved in 3D. So it was like completely, a bit of a game changer, really. Like, didn't realize we were going to be able to do that. So,
yep.
That's the template we should get NFT'd. It's cool. I'd get some. I'd own a bit of it.
You own all of it right now. Would you rather live on a private island or a penthouse apartment in your favorite city?
Probably an apartment for me. Get bored on an island by yourself.
Yeah, probably my favorite city. Yeah.
Like imagine living in Barcelona.
Yeah, but New York.
Yeah, or New York.
Miami,
yeah. Miami. That apartment in Miami.
Yeah.
We stayed in this great fucking apartment in Miami. Tom, put some video up of the Miami apartment here. It's from the JV. It's from Viddyoze live action.
Yep.
That apartment was great. The problem was I was in that top bedroom, and it basically looked straight out on the balcony. So it wasn't like a room. It was like the bedroom was on the balcony, and then behind it was all the bathroom and stuff. But the problem was like the curtains. It was that big. Like when you guys would go out downstairs, it was like you were in my room. Like it was just that loud. It was good though. Right, I want to make a simple video with about 16 different sunglasses. Any help out there to get this set up? I want to make a video with 16 different sunglasses. The best thing to do is probably just have a table, and then you would just like cut between the glasses, wouldn't you? You'd have the sun, like if this was the table. So I was about to close the laptop there.
You could do like stop motion.
Yeah, so you would have the glasses there, and then you would just cut straight to the other glasses. But the way you would do it is you could like, with stop motion, like David said, you could like move the glasses in like a rotation, so it almost looked like the glasses are moving by themselves.
Or you could have someone wearing them as well.
Yeah, or do
have them stay in the same position and just change the glasses.
Yeah,
Saying it like you. Glasses.
And the thing is as well, you don't need a massive setup with this. Like, you just need a tight shot. So you could just have someone's head like on a white background, or you could just have a plain table. So that's probably what I would do with that. Stop motion. Yeah.
How many minutes are we in?
57. We'll probably get through it. How many are left? Who's written that?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
What happened to the restaurant? Who's written that? Either Jamie's written it or you have.
It's not me.
Who else would even know about the restaurant?
I think I know who's done it. I'll tell you after.
Well, nothing happened with the restaurant.
Nope. We paid for somebody's food.
Basically, early days of videos, we were all looking at how we can make more money. So we invested into this restaurant, a restaurant opportunity with this guy called...
I don't think we should say names. Just...
He scammed us.
I know, but there's...
Some guy.
Yep.
Who just took the money and just didn't do anything, basically. So that's it.
Yep.
That's what happened.
So the restaurant never happened.
It was a good idea, though, if it happened.
It's your go.
Who wrote that? Right. Who really runs the world? And what are they up to? It's like they purposely put this in to make me go off on one.
I think, according to popular culture, we should defer this question to Beyonce because she sings about it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the answer.
Beyonce and her crew run the world.
Girls.
Yep.
Next one.
Or non-binaries.
Edit that one out. Are there aliens? Why? Surely people understand that these questions aren't like
1 minute answers.
Are there aliens, or are we literally the only intelligent, self-aware creatures in the whole universe?
No.
There's definitely aliens because in June we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Apparently.
The American... Sorry, not the American. The CIA released undisclosed documents at the start of the year that released 2 million documents on undisclosed kind of information about UFOs and that kind of thing. You can find it all online, so that's probably the answer to that. And it's more scary to think. It's scary both ways, but I think it's more scary if we were to say we were the only ones here in this massive fucking place. It would be frightening. So, no, I don't think we are the only ones. What are the 3 major differences that separate you from your competitors?
I feel like my brain can't handle
It's a hard question.
all these questions.
It's quite a serious question. Why are we better? Well, or what separates us? Our animations are full 3D, so you'll find that a lot of our competitors are using flat 3D animation, which is really simple, not very exciting. Our animations are using fully rendered 3D models, so if you look at like the textures of the animations and the kind of stuff you can see in it, you wouldn't really see that with any of our competitors. Second thing is live action. So we can actually put animation into a real world video. So again, always use this example. You could have your logo on this mug here, and as I move it around in real time, your logo would move, and the light would reflect on the logo in the exact same way as it would in real life.
And if you smash the mug,
yeah, if I smash this mug now, your logo will actually break into pieces. So
yeah.
no one's doing that out there.
Another one which is a bit controversial that I always kind of talk about. I won't name any names in terms of competitors, but a good number of our competitors are actually infringing on the terms of quite a large company. The name one, Adobe After Effects. So a lot of people script Adobe After Effects. And we've spoken to Adobe, and they actually do infringe on Adobe's terms. So these companies at any given stage, could be shut down by Adobe. So we've avoided that from day one. A lot of our customers have said, I want more templates, or I want, could you do something like this? And the answer is yes. But it just takes us a bit longer because we're not piggybacking off the IP of a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
So that's another big difference, is that we don't infringe on the rights. Sorry, it's getting a bit too political. We don't we don't infringe on the IP of another company.
Cool. That's that one. That's 3, isn't it? So
yeah, there's probably more. But
there's more, but those 3 are the first ones that came to mind.
I can't answer this question, so I'm going to pass that one to Joey.
What are your experiences with racism and or discrimination in the workplace? And how has this impacted the way you run videos, and how has this impacted the way you run videos, and how that's not written correctly. So the only time I've had issue with racism at videos is when we were running the ads last year. Pretty much, like, we were running a lot of Facebook ads, got like millions and millions of views, and then, as with anything, you have a small percentage of people who are basically twatters, and then they make all these racist remarks and all kinds of things. A lot of them I don't actually get shown because I've been told by the support team that they don't show me all the ones that get put forward because they don't want to piss me off or upset me. So I don't actually know how many there are, but I've seen a lot of them. And there's a video on the YouTube actually about mean tweets or mean comments or something like that. You can go and watch that. Tom maybe linked that or something. And you can see the kind of stuff that people say. But that's really the only thing. In terms of like how it's affected me, not really. Like, it's not really affected me at all. It's obviously not great to read it, but it's not changed anything. Like, still doing the same thing. Still in the videos and whatever else.
I think my take on it is that that's the only time in this company where I've seen like racism, and it, for me, it's kind of, well, I just think the people who comment and say things, and kind of speak from that place, that you can't stop doing what you're doing because of that. I don't want you to to change how you behave because of that. But I do feel we should speak up against it, and I think that's what we've tried to do. So I think as a company, we try and we don't want to back down and change, but then it's not my decision either to say, Joey, keep doing that, because I don't know how that impacts. It doesn't impact me the same way it impacts you. So, but my view is always like, don't back down from it. Try and,
like, I'm sure we still get it. Like, because if you remember back a year ago now, we were getting loads. Like, it was that frequent. It was literally every single day. But I just don't hear about it anymore. And I think it's just because we don't get shown now.
I think in terms of discrimination and like other kind of discrimination, if I see it, I tend to call it out. If someone's being discriminated against, I'll ask them if they want me to do anything about it. And that's about it, really.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Racism is bad.
All discrimination is.
Yeah,
like,
it's bad.
None of it's good.
What's not good is when people like, I don't want to get too into it, but I don't look. Racism's bad, discrimination's bad, but it's also bad to have to defend yourself when you've not actually done anything. And I'm saying that as someone who's colored. Like, I don't want anybody to walk around proving to me that they're not racist, because I don't think you are. Like, there's no reason for me to think that. So that's also bad. There shouldn't be any. We shouldn't have to try and prove ourselves. Like, we should just expect people to be normal and kind, and that's it.
What's your go-to meal deal? Please give details. Store, what kind of deal?
Sainsbury's, I get sandwich, crisps, and a drink. That's the one that I've gotten the most. If you remember back when we worked in Regis, I was smashing the Morrison's meal deal every day.
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of food.
This probably in the last month it's been Nando's for me. Butterfly chicken or chicken wrap, 2 sides.
Yeah, that's a good one at Nando's, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chicken burger and chips with rice. That's mine at Nando's. Do you know what? I've not been Nando's in ages. I'm gonna have to go this weekend.
Deliveroo, just get it delivered. It's good.
That's the issue, and I keep wanting to go there. How can we service Viddyoze.com as a white label company? Viddyoze white label.
Say it again.
How can we service Viddyoze.com as a white label company? The way that I read that is, how can we white label videos? Or am I reading that wrong?
Maybe. Well, you can buy the white label version of the software in about 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
There's 3 more questions.
That's good. Got through all of them. Pretty good, really.
What were your real first impressions of each other? Spill the beans.
Don't know. Like, when I first met you, we were in Liverpool. I met you at that event, didn't I? Had we spoken already? I think we'd spoken already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd already spoken online. So, no, I thought David was fine. It's like, I don't know. Just thought he was all right. Like, seemed like a nice guy. Seemed honest. That's all when it comes to business, all I'm looking for is, are you honest, and can I trust you? That's it.
I think I saw Joey when he came to market with his product, so I just thought he was good at what he did. Good with a camera, good at putting videos together. And then when I first met him, I think it's hard to go back really and think, but if I thought he was a dick, then we wouldn't be working together. So I must have thought he was okay.
It was a while ago that, like,
Yeah.
I remember right at that event.
It'd be 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
Ish.
At that event, they were talking about Mark Thompson was there, and he was saying, you know what, I'm going to build a payment platform. I'm going to build an affiliate platform, and that's what I want to do. And there was a few of us there who said that we'd all jump into it and work on it together. I obviously never did, but that's when they come up with the whole.
Was it in September? Like 6 years ago?
Yeah, maybe. I went to Australia right after that. I literally flew to Australia from that event, and then came back, and then we started working on videos properly. What about Jamie? Jamie seemed fine too. Like, it was just quite easy, really. Like, it was easy, like, because these guys are in the UK. I think it helped a lot. We'd been in this industry in the IM industry, marketing industry, for a long time, and most of the people that I dealt with were from the States. So it's quite a different personality in the States. So in a way, it was quite refreshing to find someone local, because I can actually be face to face, and that was it really. What's the biggest regret, and what did you do to get over it? Regret.
Not buying enough Bitcoin. And I'm still not over it.
Yeah, I wish I bought more Bitcoin. That would have been good. I don't know. I don't really like. I don't mean it in a weird way, like in an arrogant way. But I don't have any like. I don't sit here and think, "Oh, I wish I never did that."
It ties into a lot of questions about, what would you change from the past?
Yeah, like I don't think I want to change anything.
No, yeah, I think who I am as a person comes from all the mistakes I've made. So I don't really regret anything. Like, I don't think in life I've really hurt somebody like really badly or done anything like I've not done anything illegal. So, yeah, probably nothing really.
Cool. Do we have one more?
Yep.
Last question.
How has 2020 and 2021 changed how you want to do business?
I don't think it has.
No.
For us, luckily, I don't think it has.
I started an online business with a remote team at the age of 21 to 12 years ago. And right now, we've got an online business with a mostly remote team. And that is how I enjoy doing business.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think everything's been the same, really. Like, we've had our best year because we've capitalized on the fact that a lot more people are at home. And it's not that we've purposefully capitalized. It's just that our business was set up perfectly for this type of situation. Like, it's for people who are at home. People that want easier access to this kind of technology. So it helped.
And that is it.
That's it. Cool. Well, I enjoyed that. That was interesting. It was different.
We should do it again.
We should do it once a season. We'll do it once a season.
And maybe we need to direct the questions a bit more, because a few of them were quite similar.
Yeah. Let's get some different questions in. That was good. I enjoyed that. So, right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you leave a review for the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, and tune in for the next episode.